Hello and welcome to Ocean Academe Calculus 12, Finding Area by Integrating with Respect to y. Algebraically and integrating with respect to y, find the area that is enclosed between the following two functions, y equals x squared minus 1 and y equals 4x minus 1. So first, I'm going to draw a diagram, a graph, of what this would look like. So we've got x squared minus 1 and we have 4x minus 1. So we're looking at the area that is between these two lines. So we need to integrate with respect to y. So we have y equals x squared minus 1. So if we were to solve for x, we would say x squared equals y plus 1, and therefore x would equal the square root of y plus 1. And then with our other function, we have y equals 4x minus 1, and that would be 4x equals y plus 1, and x would equal y over 4 plus a quarter. Now we have to determine what our limits would be. Our first limit here is quite easy. That's at x equals 0. So suppose the best way to illustrate this would be x squared minus 1 equals 4x minus 1. Solve for x to determine what our two intersections are at the x. So this would be x squared minus 4x equals 0, and then we pull out the x, that leaves x minus 4, and that means our x would equal 0 and 4. So if we look at our first one, we've got y equals x squared minus 1, and if we plug in 0, we get y equals minus 1. So that's one of our limits. Now we have to determine with 4, our x equals 4. So again, we do y equals, and this time it's going to be 4 squared minus 1. So our y will equal 15. So those are our limits. So our area will have these limits, minus 1 and 15. And we'll have our curve that is to the right minus the one that's on the left. So in this case, we're looking at square root of y plus 1 minus y over 4 plus a quarter. And let's just rewrite this. So this would be y plus 1 to the half minus y over 4 minus a quarter. Now let's take the antiderivative. This would equal y plus 1 to the 3 halves over 3 halves minus 1 quarter y squared over 2 minus y over 4. And that would be over the interval from minus 1 to 15. Now we just need to plug in our limits. So how we would do that is wherever we see our y value, we'll start with putting our upper limit, and then we'll plug in our lower limit. So this will read 2/3, 15, our upper limit, plus 1 to the 3/2, minus 1/8 times 15 times 2 to the power 2, minus 1/4 times 15. So that's our upper limit, and that's going to be, we're going to subtract our lower limit. So again, it's going to be 2/3, and this time it's minus 1 plus 1 to the 3/2, minus 1/8 times minus 1 squared minus 1/4 times minus 1. And this works out to be 128 over 3 minus 225 over 8 minus 15 over 4 minus 1/8 plus 1/4. And figuring this all out, we get a value of 32 over 3.